Hello guys and welcome to a brand new video. Today I'm here with Mushoku Tensei Season 2 episode number 3 reaction. Alright, so the previous episode, what happened was Rudy was getting more accustomed to his new party, and they were like going here and there, doing small little jobs, and Rudy was using his, like, kind of trying to become more popular so that his name spreads everywhere, and information about Zenith comes to him. So that's what's going on, and we met one of the guys, I forgot that guy's name, who reminded Rudy a lot of Paul, and he was kind of like a very, like his personality, I didn't really like it that much. However, yeah, something happened, and in the end, by the end of it, what's her name, Sarah kind of gets, Sarah almost dies while Mimir is dead, and Rudy himself goes out to save Sarah, kind of thinking about how he really doesn't care, but he wants to do something, and he doesn't want to put his back towards someone else, just like Eris did for him, and that's why he knows what he's doing is pretty crappy. Like, he doesn't care whether Sarah lives or dies. All he wants to do is save her, because he wants to do something, that kind of thing. And by the end of it, he helps Sarah out, and yeah, they come back. Yeah, that's what happens. And Rudy also had like a little squabble with that guy, like I said, and he kind of hit a few points. However, his way of execution wasn't really that good. He was drunk, and he was just, like, being a complete ass, and that is definitely not how you would want to put a point across. Like, things that he was saying was correct, however his execution was extremely poor. Anyways, let us see what happens in this episode 3. Let us begin. I'll be putting the subtitles and the timer here, sync it to whichever is your preference, and let's get started. Alright, here's the countdown. 3, 2, 1, go. Right, more. Okay, side quests. Quagmire. Okay. Yeah, but the name Quagmire is... Oh, okay. Quagmire Rudius. I guess that is going to help. Yeah. Okay. Ah. Yeah. Well, Zenith was kind of a... Yeah. Hmm. Changing the topic, yep. Repairs on my... Yeah. Ah. Yeah, well... What? Yeah, buying a knife? I guess for this world that's kind of, normal. Up! On our day off, let's go out and buy a knife for adventuring. Oh boy. I like how they actually shows these scenes which are kind of, they need to show them, but it's not really that important in the opening. Like, they kind of play the opening, and then they just kind of show these scenes one after the other, and yeah. But I would actually have preferred an actual opening song, and nothing you can do about it, unfortunately. Like, Mushoku Tensei has been like this from the beginning. It only plays the music, and that is it. Yeah. Okay. Oh, he also bought one. Okay. I guess for self-defense, like if someone just comes close to you, like just stab him like that. Yeah. Oh boy. Mm. Um. Yeah. Oh my God, Rudy. Yeah. Mm. Yeah. Yeah, Rudy. Oh God. Oh boy, I can see someone just coming in immediately at this point. Come on, who's gonna cock block the whole thing? Right, who's gonna come in? Okay. Until I'm sure. Yeah, please don't ask Paul about these type of things. Like, don't. Yeah, she's kind of drunk. Oh my God. Yeah, wow. Forget self-defense discipline. Oh my God. Oh yeah, this is a inn. Yeah. Oh my God. Okay, well, yeah, she just drunk. Oh boy. Oh God. Mm. The oh boy. Oh boy, just imagine Sarah leaves the next day. Oh my God, Rudy's gonna be forever traumatized. It's okay. Whoa. Okay, this is actually what? What's happening? Um. Why are they showing this? Okay, what's going on? What? Oh no. Oh no, is oh my God, yo. Oh no, wait. What? What? Oh. Oh my. Still and silent. Oh wait, is this like because oh it's because of his drum. Is that why? It's never stayed down now. Oh no. Oh no, he's gonna get even more traumatized. Yo, okay, Rudy's okay. It's over for Rudy. Yeah, don't. This is not the proper time to do your Sundre thing. He's gonna get more scarred and he. Oh my god. Here we go. Well, Rudy is yeah, great. Rudy. Oh my god. Hey yo, this isn't. Oh, he's just gonna leave. I feel like. Yep, my god. Alright, he's gonna get punched now. I can see that. Rudy's pissed off now. Rudy's pissed off now. He's gonna get punched anytime. Oh yeah, here we go. The punches come. Yes, there you go. Perfect, Rudy. Two more. Two more. Two more. Three more. Yeah, exactly. Wow. Yeah, he's bringing everything out. Yep. Everything is out now. Hmm. Yep. Yeah, that's true. He's just letting him do this. Well, yeah. Okay. Hmm. Drink up. Well, I don't think he's going to be able to tell about the problem properly. Oh wait, he actually. Okay, all right. Okay, he actually told them. All right. Mm. Lose. Yeah. Yeah. He. Like it's so. What can I say? Like the whole misunderstanding is just so like. I feel like this. The whole thing with Sarah is also kind. I'll talk about this later. Okay. Oh my god, Aries, your letter, you should have written something extra, a little bit more. Like, look at this misunderstanding. What the hell? Yo, this kid is almost. Yeah, right beforehand. Yeah. Okay, all right, here we go. Blot it out with more of the same. Oh no. Yeah. Oh no. Great. Yeah, like, um, Is this a... Yeah. Okay. Oh no, did... Look at who he chose. Looks exactly like Eris. His name is also Elise. Yeah, this ain't helping. Really? Oh, that girl. That little kid. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay. Oh yeah, she did kind of look like her. What is this episode? Oh god. Yeah. Oh god. Yeah, well, so Rudy's problem. Okay. Hmm. Yeah, okay. Here we go. The transition and bam. Bam. No, it... Yeah, here you go. No luck. I don't know, like... He probably needs, like... Exactly. He needs to, like, face his fear. Ah. Oh, I see. Oh yeah, that might be true. No, okay, I can see where this is going. They're going to meet. He's going to meet Sylph now after this. I see. Hmm. Wow. Time to go home, Rudy. Oh, he also slept here. Oh my god. Yeah. Hmm. So he's taking you to tell slow. Okay. Yeah. Wow. He's drunk. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Exactly. Like get more. Like how long has he like? Yeah. Like you guys took it too quick. That is a problem. As he's saying. Like he gets to needs to get used to Sarah a little bit more before. No, you don't get it. Oh no. Oh boy. Oh no. Yeah. Well, alright, great. Yeah, well, great. Yeah, well, uh, well, that was Rudy's way of, like I said, trying to say that, oh, like, like he does this all the time, trying to make the situation light of it to just make himself hurt less, and that was exactly what he's doing again now, and nobody else. uh, Duchy of Neris. Oh boy. Yeah, there you go. That's what I was saying. Like without knowing about what where he has come from. Yeah, it's not that he's nicer. It's that he's just too impulsive. Like yeah, he might be nicer, but he's too impulsive, and that's a problem with this guy. Like unless and until you get used to him, he's a crappy person. Abrupt approach. Hmm. Right. Now, here's one thing. I think there's like another misunderstanding in this. When Sarah said, like, oh, what did she say? Like, something. When she went out of the room, she said something like, that's the worst or something. Like, that wasn't. I doubt that was something she was, like, like, she was directing towards Rudy. That was something she was directing towards herself, I think. She probably got like like she probably said something like that because she thought that, oh, it was her who took it too fast, and she probably blamed herself. Then she said something like, oh, that's the worst, and left. Again, Rudy misunderstood that. I'm pretty sure that's what happened. I don't know, this is just like something that I'm thinking. And obviously before that, when she was like, oh, this is just obligation and everything, again, that was her being Sundre. So again, two more misunderstandings, and then this happens again. Like I cannot just, like, this is just crazy. Like how both Eris and her, like in the same way, both of them like created such a huge misunderstanding that Rudy's like completely just, you know, it's just, what can I say? Oh, but there's still something left. Oh wait, are we going to meet Roxy? Oh, here we go. Quagmire Rudius. Right. I forgot her name. What's her name? This girl. Oh boy, here we go. Yeah. Uh, yeah. Oh my god, they're going to lie. Is he? He's lying, isn't he? Or maybe not. I don't know. Okay, that's it. Wow, this episode was something. Really. Like I was saying, like that section again, that was another misunderstanding. I think like I feel like a few people might. I don't know. This is just a guess, but I think when Sarah said something like, "Oh, that's the worst," she wasn't directing that towards Rudy, but she was directing that towards herself. Probably thought that she took it too far and too quick, and that's why she was telling herself that, "Oh, that's the worst. I did the worst thing." So again, that I feel like that is, I'm not 100% sure, but I think that was directed towards herself. So that, if that was what it was, then again it was another misunderstanding at that moment. And before that, when she was like, "Oh, I'm doing this for obligation," another misunderstanding, because like she was just being tsundere. So like that's what I'm saying. Like like Rudy, at least in this type of situation, like the way he is now, Rudy needs to stop associating himself with tsunderes. It's just going to, like, it's just crazy, like what's going on here. Like first it was Eddie's, her whole thing where she never bothered to write a letter properly. She just wrote, "I'm out," and that's it. That was all she wrote. She's like, "I'm out." Obviously she didn't write that, but it was something like that. So that, and here Ed is acting like that, like a typical Sundar, and then saying something like that. Again, another misunderstanding. So like in situation like this where Rudy actually needs someone who speaks clearly and properly and gives, like, brings out their feelings across. Rudy needs someone like that to get over his trauma. And like I feel like everything could be resolved if Eris just comes back and he meets Eris somewhere, and Eris just tells him that, "Oh, what the hell are you talking about? That was a misunderstanding you had. I didn't leave you. I just went out on my training arc." And if that happened, I feel like all of this problem will immediately just subside, and no problem will come. These problem won't come back. However, I don't know when Ace is going to come back again. I'm not exactly sure. It seems like this arc will be kind of Rudy and Sith. So I doubt that's going to happen anytime soon. So yeah, like just for the time being, Rudy, stop associating with Sundares. They're a bit, they're a bit too, like, like in, at least in this, like what the type of situation he is in, his mental, like, like situation, he needs to talk to someone who actually tells them, like, like tells him their honest feelings properly. Because again, another misunderstanding here. I'm like 50 to 60% sure that that whole scene with Sarah was a full-on misunderstanding again. First she was acting Sundar, and then when she said like, "Oh, it's the worst," it was just she's talking to herself. It wasn't directed at Rudy. So that's just a guess though. I'm not 100% sure. But that's what I think happened. So, right, okay, anyways, enough of that. Let's talk about this episode. So first what happens is like we get to see Rudy is like talks about how he has been doing these jobs with the counter arrow, and then like Sarah, and he comments on how Sarah has gotten close to him, and like he's talking to Sarah about different stuff. Sarah's saying how, like, like she like she uses a bow and arrow, and here the topic comes out about Roxy, and obviously Sarah kind of diverts the topic back to something else again. And then after that, Sarah's like, "Oh, my like my what's that called, the dagger, it's chipped and everything, so can we go out and replace it, and will you come with me?" So there you go. After that, they decide to go out, and we see while the opening was playing, everything that they did, they had, like, like some food, went to the dagger store, bought 2 matching daggers, and yeah, there you go. After that, back to the tavern. So here in this tavern, they're like getting drunk and everything, and obviously like Sarah is kind of, like getting close to him and like kind of signaling him, while Rudy's like, "Oh, am I reading this correct? Like is this what I think it is?" And because obviously he is a lot more, you could say, a lot more timid now, even than like more than before, because of the whole Aries situation. He just, he doesn't know what to do. He's like, right, am I reading this correctly? Is this what is this really happening? And then he kind of thinks about like, oh, I need to take this slow, like, and I cannot just jump into this whole thing, like thinking of stuff like that. And but either way, Sarah's like, oh, let's go to your place. So they go to their place, and yeah, Rudy and Sarah, like, that's, like, they start like, doing it almost. But then Rudy realizes something is wrong. And yeah, I guess he cannot get it up. I shouldn't laugh. This is like a traumatic thing. Like the whole like thing with Eris just completely messed him so much that he's just afraid now at this point. So you can see that Rudy's panicking, and he's just like, like completely like breaking down. And here, like, okay, you know what? I'm going to read this again. Read this section again when Sarah says that whole section. Because I'm like I said, I'm 60% sure that was just her being her. She didn't really mean it. That was just her being a tsundere. She says that, I'm not really, here we go, into you or anything. But obviously Rudy is not, like, at that point Rudy is panicking, so he takes her at face value in this situation. But I'm pretty sure that was Sarah just being like, oh, like, no, right, like, and then she says like, I just wanted to thank you, to pay my debt. There you go, more misunderstanding. Like, my God, like, just like the problem here, you know what it is? Like Soldat, I think that was his name. He said they took it too quickly. Like, Rudy doesn't even properly know Sarah. How long has he been like, like doing the jobs with her? How long? Like, it's just like they don't know each other properly, and I feel like none of this would have happened if Rudy got a lot more, I guess you could say, used to Sarah. And then but he just like, like, obviously Sarah, and I think like Sarah realized that, and that is why Sarah said, like, here, like, I'm going to say this. Okay, let me read this part again. Don't get the wrong idea. The template, like, the typical template tsundere line, don't get it wrong. It's not that I like you or anything. I'm basically doing this out of obligation. But obviously, like, Rudy is panicking now. None of that. He takes everything in face value. And Sarah's like, see you. And then she kind of mutters, awful. Here we go. Like I said, in no way I think this was directed towards Rudy. It was towards herself. I think she said that to herself because, like I said, she probably feels bad that Rudy had to go through that. Like, you could see like Rudy was panicking, and seeing that Sarah probably thought that, oh, that's awful of me, because I didn't even properly, like, like, kind of get comfortable with him. Like, we just met a few, like, I don't know how long has spent, but we just met very recently, and I just tried to do this. Because if you think about it, it was her who kind of was like, oh, let's go. So that's probably why she kind of thinks that it was her fault. I don't know, like, maybe I'm looking too much into this, because, like, like, by the way, like, by the little amount of time we have met Sarah and how we have observed her, I doubt she's the type of person who would say something like this in this situation, like, awful. Like, no, I don't think so. So that awful definitely was directed towards her, because she saw Rudy panicking. She saw, like, Rudy kind of, like, on the floor trying to, like, having, like, a panic attack. And that is why she felt bad about it, and she felt, like, kind of, she blamed herself for that. And that's why she said, oh, awful, like, to herself, not Rudy. However, this situation, if that's the case, it didn't help, because Rudy misunderstood that whole thing again. And it's just like, oh my God, this is so, what can I say, unfortunate. Like, now he's even more traumatized. Right, so there you go, this whole thing. And that's what I said, like, these people need to be clear about their feelings. Like, goddamn, like, speak out properly. Especially if it's someone like Rudy, because he has his own troubles. He has his own troubles from the real world. And I guess obviously nobody knows about it. That's the unfortunate part. Only Rudy knows about that situation, that, like his previous world and everything. So yeah, like you cannot really like, like nobody knows about his situation, so nobody knows that Rudy takes everything so much at face value. And yeah, like that's the thing. Like this is the thing. I feel like Rudy would definitely be way more. I guess you could say, what was that word? Way more knowledgeable about these type of things, because like it's a tsundere. Like Aries, both Aries and Sarah, both of them are tsunderes. So him being like, like the person who like, I think he like watched anime and stuff as well. I saw him playing games and everything. So like he definitely has like, the like knows about these type of scenarios. But the problem here is that he is not in the correct state of mind. The state of mind he's in here now is a state of mind where he takes everything at face value. And so in this type of situation, I feel like if he was a lot more calmer and didn't try to get into that panic attack, he probably would have stopped and thought about the situation and would be like, you know what, I've hung out with Sarah for such a long time. She's definitely not that type of girl who would say something like that in front of my face almost. So yeah, it's probably just her trying to kind of brush that situation off and kind of, so if he just like, like if his state of mind was like proper here, he probably would have sat down and thought about it, and probably the next day he could have just gone to Sarah and be like, oh, yesterday what happened, like, can we talk about it, like that. And I feel like everything, a lot of things would have been resolved then. But he's not in that state of mind. You cannot do anything for him here, because he takes everything at face value now because of his whole PTSD with Eris. So he goes to the tavern and just like starts drinking, and I knew that Soldat was going to get punched here. Soldat comes in and he's like, what's wrong with you? Like you're again acting like a goody two shoes, aren't you, Rudy? And Rudy gets pissed off, and Rudy's like, yeah, you want me to pick a fight with you? Is that what you want? And starts punching him. And he kind of brings everything out and just like, like kind of, like brings everything out and starts punching him. And in the end, he's like, why are you not hitting me? Like, hit me. And Soldat, and you can see that, what's his name? That guy, Soldat's friend. He comes in and he's like, come on, like just cut him some slack. Like just leave him alone. Like just don't like mess with him. Like he's just a kid. And Soldat's like, you know what? I'm sorry. Like, I shouldn't have done that. And like, you know what? Yeah, you're fine. You're okay. And there you go. Like that's what I was saying. Like he's not a bad guy. The problem with this guy is that he's just an ass. That's the problem. And like I feel like that's like nobody, like everyone kind of like looks at you, and like everyone looks at the first impression that they provide to others. That's what happens. So him being a good person inside doesn't mean crap if it's an ass to every people he meets. Like that's his problem, and that is the problem with Paul as well. If you realize, if you think about it, like these people, like characters have some deep-rooted issues themselves as well. However, they aren't really a bad person. That's the situation. So yeah, there you go. He's like, oh, you know what? You're actually bringing out your true feelings. So yeah, you know what? We're good now. I didn't like you acting like that, so we're good now. But here's the thing. Like I said, I would have agreed with him if Rudy was acting like that because he was just like that. But Rudy has a past. And that is the thing, like without knowing someone's past, judging them because of the way they do things or their behavior is not a good thing to do. Like how the hell would you know what someone went through in their lives? Like just this situation. Let's take this situation. Rudy acts like this, acts so smiley and always like saying yes to everything. The reason why he does this is not to farm like brownie points. It's because he has a problem. He has a trauma from his real world. That's why he does this. Like being a person who was bullied, he had to be like this, trying to make the situation in his real world a lot more tolerable to himself. To survive, he had to smile. like this, even though he wasn't smiling in the inside. So that is his situation, you know. So without knowing that, judging someone like this is something that I don't think anyone should do. Yeah, you know, like you get used to someone, and then like, you know, like you like spend time with them like 1 or 2 years, you get to know them properly, and then I guess you could probably like, you know, like talk with them or judge them, and you know, like something like that, because you know what that person is, you know, like, and then after knowing everything about them, then you can probably comment on these type of things, not in your first like, you know, like meeting. Like that is why I did not like about this guy Soldat, you know, like the way he just judges everyone at the drop of a hat and immediately, you know, like this, being this impulsive and something like that. Anyways, enough about him. So after getting everything out, Zoldat is like, right, so like Rudy's like tries to like act like, not act like, talk politely again, but then Zoldat is like, oh, stop that, you know, like you just talk normally to me up until now, like stop that creepy way of just like talking very politely, like that's weird, you know, just talk normally like you did to me up until now. And okay, so he's like, all right, then sit down and talk to me, you know, like tell everything that has happened. So he talks about everything, and he talks about what happened with Sarah, he talks about what happened with Eris and everything. And obviously, like, you know, like Zoldat, like Rudy doesn't know what actually is going on, so he tells everything to him, and Zoldat takes everything at face value, and he's like, oh, that was a crappy situation then, right, so let's fix you up, you know. And Rudy's like, what? And he's like, ah, let's go. And then they go to the, I'm guessing, the red light district. And yeah, they come to this place, a brothel, I'm guessing. And right, so the first thing that caught my eye immediately was this girl who looked exactly like Eris, you know, or I would say like not like Eris, but like her mom, you know, because obviously Eris, you know, it's just like she looks a lot like her. And so, you know, like, and yeah, so after that you can see that obviously like they go in, and you know, like this girl tries to make everything proper, you know, like kind of, and she kind of mentions how she is the person whose sister he helped to heal, you know, that's crap. And I'm like, oh, that's an interesting coincidence, like wasn't expecting a coincidence like this. However, you could see that she's a lot more, I guess you could say, uh you know, like understanding of the situation after, because you know, like later on, when you know, like they try to do the deed again, like Rudy, it didn't happen, so they come back and Rudy's like, oh, it's no use. And the girl is like, I'm sorry, I tried, you know, but it's not. So obviously she can understand like the situation, and she was like, right, so we need to talk about this, what has happened. So you need to get, okay, where's that part where they talks about, okay, here we go. She says like you need to talk to, and like, you know, kind of uh like, you know, like you need to talk to someone who you're used to, who you're not fearful of. And which is, I could say, immediately I was like, oh yeah, that's correct, you know, like if you think about it, like people, like I was thinking up until now that this situation can only be resolved if he talks to Eris, you know, the person who made this misunderstanding. If he talks to her, everything will be resolved, and that is true, that is definitely true, that holds true. However, this girl is also correct at another way. Another way you can do this is like talk to someone who you're used to, who you have known for, I guess you could say, like most of your life, like Sylph, or I guess you could, I wouldn't call Roxy that he knew Roxy for most of his life, but you know, he does kind of keep writing letters to her, so I guess that's why he keeps in contact with her. And in his childhood he was like more used to Roxy, so either Roxy or Sylph or Eris, but I doubt Eris is going to come now, you know, like she's on her training arc. It takes a little bit of time for characters to complete their training arc, you know, so I'm sure she'll be back, but in the future, not now. So yeah, like Roxy or Sylph, at least now. So, and like this situation itself could be like, you know, like what can I say, like not Roxy and Sylph only. I feel like Sarah could also be someone who could probably help him with this if he decided to wait a little bit, you know. like get used to her more, get to know her more, because like that just like what happened is just he what can I say, like obviously both of them didn't know this was going to happen, but yeah, like he wasn't used to Sarah, and he still has the PTSD with Ares, so that is why it didn't work out. So here we go. Like she says, like someone who he feels certain would never turn on him. There you go. He needs to talk to that person. So first Rudy thinks of Roxy, but then he's like, oh, that probably won't work. And then, you know, like obviously he doesn't think about Sylph though here. But obviously we can see where this is going. Obviously the main poster of this season has Sylph on it, or Silent Fits as they call her now, on it, and Rudy's also in it, I think. So yeah, so yeah, like we know where this is going to us. Like they went to that school. I'm pretty sure Rudy's probably going to go there as well and somehow meet her. Right, anyways, so Soldat is like, I'll just drink up today, you know, like just forget about everything. And morning, that the whole place is shutting down, so they're like, they have to leave now. Yeah, they get up and they're walking, and Rudy's just drunk. Zoldat is like trying to like tell him that, all right, you know what, take it slower, you know, like he kind of gives like a example of the dungeon, about how, like, you know, like the more deeper you go, the tougher monsters you encounter, so take it from the sidelines and everything, you know, like all that stuff he's saying, while Rudy's freaking drunk, so nothing gets in his head. He's like, yeah, what are you saying? I don't understand. But then he's like, right, you know, like take everything slower. Don't be this hasty at something. Right. So here Zoldat says, like, for as far as I've seen, like, you know, that girl, you know, Sarah, she definitely likes you. So you just need to take it slow. You try to go too fast into it. And Rudy kind of thinks about it, and like comes out. And Rudy's like, yeah, I'm gonna try it later on, you know. So here we go. Here's where the bigger trouble happens. Rudy obviously starts saying something like, oh, like, I don't even want her. She's built like a kid, blah, blah, blah. Like, a woman must be stacked like Elise, like this and that, while she's just standing behind him. Now, here we go. Obviously, like, looking back, Sarah is angry, hurt, and she just comes in, slaps him, and she's like, I don't come talk to me again, and throws the dagger that they bought and leaves. So yeah, what happened here is, like I said again, Rudy being Rudy. He just tries to make the situation light of some, like, these type of difficult situations. He tries to make light of him, just so that he himself could be of sane mind. Like that is the thing. Like, just think about the situation. Just kind of compare the situation to his real life in Earth. Whenever he gets bullied, I'm pretty sure he tries to act as if like, oh, everything is fine, you know, it's just normal stuff, you know. And just a sec, guys. Right, I got interrupted. Okay, so what was I talking about? Oh yeah, I was comparing this to the real world. Yeah, like I was saying. So imagine, just like, you know, kind of compare this with the real world. Rudy gets bullied. He definitely needs to convince himself that everything is fine, because he knows this is going to continue. You know, like, he goes to school, he gets bullied, he comes back, and he's like, oh, everything is fine. Everything is fine. You know, like, it's just something, like, you know, like it's not a big deal. Goes back to school the next day, and same things happens. And every time he needs to convince himself that everything is fine by making light of the situation. He's like, oh, it's just a little bullying, it's fine. You know, like that's okay. And like, you know, like, I'm not bothered by it. Like, everyone needs to do that if they are like going into a situation where they're not, like, you know, like this type of situation is happening. To make them less hurt, they need to make light of the other situations. By making light of the other situations, they themselves can stay sane, you know. And that is what he has done up until now. not up until now, but at least in the real world. That is what he has always done. Made light of every situation around him to keep him feeling okay or lowering his own stress. So in case of bullying, yeah, that is one way of coping with it. In this situation, he does the same thing again, to save himself from a mental breakdown. He makes light of the situation. He's like, Sarah, I don't care about her, it's fine, I never liked her or something, he says stuff like that, and tries to, kind of make light of the situation that happened to keep himself, I guess you could say, sane. But in this situation where Sarah hears about it, obviously she takes it at face value. So she gets mad and she slaps him, and there you go. Obviously Rudy never meant that. And this is the problem with the whole situation. Like, this exact same thing happened the previous night when Sarah said stuff like that. Sarah, I doubt Sarah meant any of that. But Rudy took it in a wrong way. Here the same thing happens. Rudy makes light of the situation. I doubt Rudy meant any of that. Sarah takes it the wrong way. And obviously Sarah just slaps him and just leaves. So, and obviously when, she throws the sword down and just leaves. And you could see that Rudy's at the brink of completely just, ending it, and he tries to stab himself with this sword, dagger, and Soldat kicks it away, and Soldat is like, stop it, don't do that. And Rudy's like, I don't care about it, I can't be bothered, just leave me alone. And Soldat is like, just stand up and start running and try to go explain it to her, but and Rudy's like, I cannot, in no way. So Soldat is like, alright, so fine, where's your dad? And he says oh, he's in the milice, I think, yeah. So later on, Soldat is like, alright, so you want to come with me? And he talks about the huge labyrinth turned up over Duchy of Neris. Yeah, and he's like, come with us. And Rudy's like, but you didn't like me. And he's like, yeah, I didn't like the previous you, who was creepy with just goody to shoe manners. But now you are actually letting yourself out, and I don't hate people like that after knowing you. So yeah, come with me, So there you go, and yeah, Rudy's like, right, fine, let's go then. Right, so like I was saying, again, a misunderstanding, and it's just, what can I say? It's just an unfortunate situation. Nobody is to blame here. I feel I don't know, I feel at least there will be a small amount of people watching this episode who might take this episode in a weird way. There might be a few people who would be like, oh, Sarah is at fault. Why did she act like that in the beginning? And now, after Rudy kind of said the same thing, she got mad, what is this? I'm sure a few people at least will kind of say that. I'm sure there will be a few people who will blame Rudy for this, and they'll be like, oh, what the hell, Rudy? What was that? I understand you're heartbroken, but why, act like that? But, like I said, nobody is at fault here. It's just a crappy situation, and it's just nothing you can do about it. So, I don't think you can blame anyone for this in this situation. It's just misunderstanding, miscommunication. The same thing that happened with Eris is, again, repeating here. And you cannot blame either party for this, yeah, one thing you could say is that these characters need to sit down and freaking talk. That's one thing you can say here. Other than that, I don't think you cannot really say anything here. You cannot, this episode isn't an episode where you can take a side, oh, Sarah's right, oh, Rudy's right. No, nah, that is not the situation. With everything that we know about Rudy and Sarah, both of them, none of them are to blame here. It's just a bad situation. And I really hope in the future Sarah kind of gets to know the real intention of Rudy and what he meant, and that he didn't mean that, because this is kind of crappy, isn't it? Just ending up in a misunderstanding and just leaving, even if they don't don't get together or anything like that. Kind of ending this in a misunderstanding is kind of puts a bad taste in my mouth, at least they were good friends, and now that is also broken because of this weird misunderstanding. So I really hope, I don't know, I don't think if that's going to happen now, or I'm not really sure, but I really hope in the future someday, like Sarah and Rudy meets again, like, because I think he's going to leave. I'm not really sure what's going to happen. Maybe next episode he'll try to go meet Sarah or something and then leave, or he'll just leave immediately. I'm not sure what he's going to do, but whatever it is, I really hope a time comes, be it the next episode or like season 5, whatever. I really hope there a time comes where at least the misunderstanding gets cleared up. Because, like I said, it leaves a bad taste in the mouth, you know. Like, obviously, Rudy didn't mean it. And Sarah got hurt because of that. So, yeah, I kind of want this misunderstanding to get cleared up by the end of it. Hopefully. I don't know if that's going to happen, or maybe we're just going to move on, you know. Who knows? Either way, yeah, that was it. That was my reaction to episode number 3 of Mushoku Tensei Season 2. Yeah, if you guys enjoyed this video, be sure to press the like button and subscribe if you're new to the channel, or you haven't subscribed. Comment down below anything you want to say, anything you want to let me know. I'll check them out. And that is it. Thank you for watching. I will see you guys next week with another episode of Mushoku Tensei. Until then, goodbye and have a nice day.